but uh, I haven't at all. But man, I appreciate you taking the time out and jumping on. Like I said, you've been a regular on the show, and it's always an experience and full of knowledge to have you on the show. So without further ado, I'm gonna go and get off into one of my first little questions for you. So I just want to know what is it, or what is one thing, and you can give me one because I'm sure there's several. What is one thing that really pisses you off and why?
Well, I do have several, but I think the one thing that pisses me off the most is bullies.
Hmm.
I cannot stand bullies in every form or fashion, whether we talking about politics or, as you know, I'm a big proponent with sexual assault prevention and response. Can't stand bullies, man. Bullies are a bunch of blowhards that like to talk that talk and get over on people that they know is not going to fight back. And I like to
Yeah,
meet them and give them what they came for.
I know that's true. But yeah, bullying, I definitely don't care for that now. And it's so much bullying in so many different ways. I mean, there's even online bullying now. Just so many different more ways than this day and time to be bullied on someone. So at least we know one of the things that's really to piss you off. So I know there was several. So then I want to just ask you, about the number of brothers and sisters you have, and were you raised by both parents, a single parent?
Well, I have a big family. It's eight of us, but I also have a stepbrother and a stepsister in our family. Hey, if you got a half or a quarter, you a whole. So it's 10 of us.
Already.
I was raised as a single parent with my mom, but my dad is in my life. Big shout out to Orvie Senior. But I was raised with my mom, grew up partially in Chicago, but mostly in Louisiana. So I'm city born and country bred.
All right, city born, country bred. All right, that's what's up.
Sir,
Eight, man.
love
That's
this
that's
country.
that's a big group.
Oh yeah, we got a squad, man. You mess with one of us, you gonna have a problem because you
Right,
got all
right.
of us coming.
Already. Are they all local or kind of scattered out?
No, scattered out. We got some like myself in Minnesota, some um, in Florida, a good bit of them still in Louisiana, some in Chicago. I think I got a niece and my little brother. I think he's still in Texas, but we're a little bit everywhere.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's good. Now, on this question right here that I got for you, you kind of answered a little bit of it in the first one, talking about bullying. Because I was asking about growing up in high school, were you bullied or were you the bully? And then in talk about college life with you.
Well, believe it or not, when I was growing up, I wasn't really bullied as much as being teased. So I make the distinction between bully and teasing like this: a bully will come in and just terrorize you. So you scared to move, you scared to go somewhere, and they pretty much put a pause on your life. Teasing, you could be brave, but they still gonna talk about you. Man, they used to talk about me from my nappy head to my ashy elbows and knees to shoot. Sometimes talk about how I smell like pee. But they used to give me the business, man.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I heard that. I know that's true. All right, that's what's up. And then, I saw you post something one time about an old car you had, or your first car, no AC or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Oh man,
You
you
remember that
taking me
post?
way, hey, you taking me way back to my 1989 Honda Excel that had 13-inch rims, but I kept them clean. Yeah, that was my ride, man. I didn't have a car until I joined the army. As a matter of fact, I bought that car because I was in the army in North Carolina. I just got tired of walking.
I know
Said
that's
I
right.
got,
Did that AC roll down windows? What power windows?
hey man, the AC worked as fast as I can go. Get that air in there. Oh, I had a sunroof too, so I had that topical AC too,
Oh
but
yeah,
that
you
was
had
it.
it working. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Sometimes it got so hot I had to drive and try to stick my head out the window so I could breathe, man.
No, man, that's what's up right there. I'm telling you. Yeah, we all kind of relate to getting our first vehicle, man. Say, yeah, yeah, it was something. I had a Mercury Marquis with a 429, but gas I think was like 80 some cents a gallon back then. So
Oh man.
still a lot to fill that damn thing up. So
Hey, look, man, no matter what the car was, or how you got it, I think the main question was, did you keep it clean?
Man, you know I did. No doubt about it. So, all right, well, we're gonna move on then because like I said, this is up close and personal with Orvie Baker, 20-year veteran. See, we
Well,
got some viewers kind of chatting in, so I appreciate y'all looking in and feel free to post any questions for Orvie because he's
yeah,
never left speechless. Uh,
let's hear from you.
so already. So let me ask you this about okay, growing up, any in your younger days, whatever, any fights, during your time coming up, we can talk about maybe high school or whatever.
Well, all the way back to elementary school, I've been in scraps. Matter of fact, I didn't believe that there were kids that never been in fights in school. But for me, that was just a way of life. That was a rite of passage. You go to school, you got a problem with somebody, y'all handle it on the schoolyard or you handle it in the big field before you get home. But yeah, we scrap. I think I fought all the way up to high school where nobody's really fighting anymore in high school. So everybody's getting ready for that adulthood.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And you would probably say that fighting nowadays is a lot different because you have the guys now. First thing they want to do is pull out a weapon or pull out some. Back in the day, it was hand to hand.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. And I'm not going to say that I've been beyond using weapons myself. I'm not gonna get out here and say that, but when it came to the scrap back in the day, it was like, hey, if somebody said something about you, um, you didn't like, and they were going to stand up for it. Hey, let's get it on. Let's shoulder to shoulder and get dirty with it, get dusty with it. But I will tell you, there's a difference between fighting in Chicago versus fighting in Louisiana. And
What?
the biggest difference for me was, man, in the South, they like to wrestle, man. You know, in Chicago, and I think more people throw hands now, but in Chicago, our thing was don't let anybody get too close. As soon as they get within swinging distance, you swing off. You pop them, chin check them. But in Louisiana, we had this ritual where you go shoulder to shoulder, you go around, you talk a little bit, and if you take too long, somebody in the crowd will just smack you in the head, say that's from him. So y'all go ahead and get dirty. But I gotta be humble and give it up to the wrestlers, man. I didn't know wrestling could put it on you like they did on me, man. I was used to
Yeah.
swinging, but somebody choked me and threw me on the ground, man. Started trying to put me in the camel clutch and stuff. I was like, what the hell going on? I thought we was fighting, man. This ain't fighting.
So y'all did that rustling and tussling that going
Oh
on.
man. Dirt from the ear to the big toe, man.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that,
Getting
man. Yeah,
full dirt.
that could definitely be something, boy. So, and then plus with all of you say you got 8 siblings, and so man, say shoot.
Oh
I
man, we
couldn't
used to
kill
have
them.
family fights in the South, man. It'd be one family against our family, man. But we had the numbers.
Right, right.
We had the numbers.
Yeah, that's what's up. The numbers gonna prevail at most of the
Oh yeah.
time anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, cool. So now I'm gonna ask you kind of about the high school or college sweetheart. So did you have a sweetheart or someone that you kind of dated that was, your main one or the only one in high school? Did she go to college with you? Talk to me about them sweethearts.
Well, I had like sweethearts in high school, but um, they didn't bring that back to me. I had a whole bunch of people I liked, but nobody liked Orvie Baker, man. Hey, I was single and couldn't mingle, man. They couldn't stand me. Now, when I came back from the army, that changed a whole lot. But
Right.
going through high school, man, I was either a friend or the plague.
Yeah.
So as far as college goes, I didn't go to college till later on in life, and I was married at the time. So there was the wife as the sweetheart, but that was it.
Right, right. Okay. That's what's up. So what do you think that was deterring them away from you? I mean, was it the hair? Was it the
Man, being
smile?
being broke, man. I was my family was we had big numbers, but we was like the poorest people in the town. Everybody knew it, man. Even the cops knew that we was poor, man. So, back in the day of the Jerry curls and stone wash, acid wash jeans, if you didn't have one of the two, you didn't meet the criteria to be on somebody's arm, and I didn't have none of it, man. Matter of fact, I used to go to school with pants 3 years in a row before I got another pair. And I ain't even talk about the shoes I had, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was rough, brother.
I feel you, brother. I feel you on that. So that definitely could be something. All right, all right. So now, I'm see if you can describe your early years of growing up before high school. What was that like for Orvie right there? Growing up before high school and your early years of growing up.
Well, for me, my early years before high school was pretty much focused on taking care of my sisters and brothers. I'm the oldest of the eight, or 10 with my stepsister and my stepbrother. So I was always looked at as being that surrogate parent to take over when my mom wasn't there or when she wasn't feeling good. So most of my focus was trying to keep my sisters and brothers out of trouble, and at times, make sure we had the water, the lights on, or some food. So I had to do some things that wasn't legal, but I think the time has expired of me getting in trouble for it. But I had to do what I had to do, take care of the family.
Exactly, exactly. Well, that's definitely something. Man. 8 of them. So were you the oldest or you the middle or where?
I'm the oldest. I'm big brother.
Yeah, yeah. You had it all on your shoulder then. Well, at least you
Oh
handled
man.
it, like a champ.
Hey man, it sometimes it didn't feel like that, man, because you know, when you the big brother, people like to challenge your authority when they get older.
Yeah.
And sometimes I had to choke some siblings out to let them know that, hey, you might be getting a little tall and stuff, but I still hold the power here. The only one in charge past me is mama, and when she ain't here, I'm in charge.
Already. That's what's up. That's what's up. I see we got a couple of viewers. Hey guys, I want to thank y'all out there for tuning on in. This is Up Close and Personal with Orvie Baker, 20-year veteran. Y'all have any questions, please post them in the comment for him because he always have an answer for you. Garen told you that. So that's what's up.
Never told.
Already, Garen told you. So when Orvie's going through something and needs to talk to somebody, you know, who gets that call and why? Besides your wife, who gets that call? I mean, you're having the worst day, shit ain't going right, and you really need somebody to talk to. Who gets that call and why do they get that call?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the person that used to get that call is no longer with us. My grandmother.
Hmm.
That was my rock. That was my ace in the hole. That was my ride or die. Uh, no matter what situation I found myself in, from when I was a little kid to being an adult. When I was a kid, all I needed to do was get 15 cents. I know I'm aging myself because I know it went up to a quarter. Now we don't have the pay phone, but as long as I had 15 cents, I could reach out to my grandmother and talk to things that were going through. And if she could send me a little change, like, $10 bills, something like that, she was always there. So that was my person. Now, um, I live off the memory of what she gave me. And don't get me wrong, I'm close with my family, my sisters, my brothers, my mom, my
Right.
dad, aunts and uncle. We're a real tight knit family. But the person that Lil Orvie went to, no ifs, ands, and buts about it, was my grandmother.
Right. That's what's up. That right there. That's someone good to have. I'm sure she blessed you with a whole lot of memories and everything that you can carry on from now until the end, and even share with your own kids.
Oh
That's
man, and I do, man. We actually started um, having an annual family reunion a couple of years ago, and that was something she wanted to have us do before she passed on. So me and my little big brother, I can't say little brother because he's 6'9" and a half, but me and my little big brother Jonathan, we make sure we push that family reunion um, at the property in Louisiana every year. So far, we got 2 years under our belt. We're gonna keep it going.
right. That's what's up. Before I move on to my one of my next questions is, I think I know about that background, but I just like you to briefly tell me because I think I have it in my notes. But tell to me about your background right there.
Okay, as far as my military background, the
No, the
background behind me.
your
Oh,
background behind it.
I am so glad you asked me about that. This is um, the Survivors Memorial. It's located in Minneapolis, Minnesota at Boom Island Park. And this memorial is special because it's the only one in its kind in the United States of America, possibly in the world. It's the only memorial dedicated to survivors of sexual violence. So I'm doing a documentary on it. That's why I have the picture up behind me. And what I want to do is bring awareness to the fact that there is a memorial like this in existence, why it is in existence, and what more we could do to bring attention to it. One of the things I want to do at the end of the documentary is actually get this location cited to be a historical memorial nationwide, a national historical memorial. And I have to get um, the senators here in Minnesota on board. So if they happen to be listening or y'all work for the senators, tell them to call me because I'm gonna keep sending them letters. I'm gonna keep on bugging you because this is something that has to happen.
Right. Yeah. That's so great. And you say that's where they're now? Where's that located?
It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's actually in Boom Island Park, Boom Island Park,
Right.
and the Mississippi River runs right past it. So it's a
Yes.
beautiful location.
Yes. Yes. And I know, but what led you to take on this project? I mean, I'm getting all. I have this in my notes, but since we on it, I wanted to go on and talk about it now.
It's perfectly fine. Actually, it was a kind of embarrassment that I stumbled upon it. So this memorial I saw for the first time in 2022, and it was vandalized. And when they were talking about it on the news, I was kind of shocked because my background is victim advocacy. I've been a victim advocate since 2005 with the military, and I thought if they had something like this in existence, I would have at least heard of it. I knew nothing of it. So I went out there, I looked at it, did my own research about how it came to be, how old it was. It was actually completed in October 2020, and then it was vandalized again. And when it was vandalized a second time, I said something has to be done. This is bullshit. This thing shouldn't be touched. It should have some lights on there. We should be able to at least catch the culprits doing it. So I started talking more with Minneapolis Park and Gardens. I got in touch with two of the people that's responsible for it, Susan Super, and she got me in contact with Miss Lloyd Green. She's the one that does all the decorations that's on the mosaic stuff. And I was going to school at the time when I talked to Miss Lloyd Green. I said, hey, one of my projects, I have to do a mini documentary. Can I interview you for the memorial? And she said yes. And man, we had a conversation. We learned so much about each other and what's going on in the world for victim advocacy that after I graduated, I said, you know what? I want my first project, my first real project out of school to be a full documentary on this memorial. So that's what I'm working on now. And just to wrap it up, I started working on it in April of this year, and I'm hoping to have everything completed by April 2025 next year. And the reason that's of significance is not because my birthday's in April,
Right.
even though it is, but April is Sexual Assault Awareness Prevention Response Month. So I want to have it released so we can get it out there to the masses on the month that's designed for it.
Right, right. Outstanding. Good, man. I'm glad you're taking on that project. Now, what
Thank
if someone's out there listening, wanting to make a donation, wanting to support you? How can they do that? Is there a link or is there something you can share with them? I mean, I'm sure you need some finances to produce this documentary and all. It'll help, I'm sure.
oh man, definitely any and all donations would be great. If you go to Instagram, because it seems like that's where everybody's going at, it's the Survivors Memorial DOC, and you'll see this picture on the page, and on there's links to donate to my cause. I'm also selling apparel, so we have T-shirts, mugs. We're gonna have some hats and socks coming along, but you can get that, and that is a way to support not just the documentary, but me pushing information out. We also have a Facebook page for it too, the Survivors Memorial Documentary on Facebook.
Right. Outstanding, outstanding. And I've said this to you in one of our other podcasts. Best believe Wizzo will be going there and purchasing some items to support you because we go way back, so even way back to the hip hop soda shop. But we ain't gonna bring that
Hey,
up right now.
oh yeah, I'm glad you are because I haven't forgot about it. That's still happening.
Yeah.
That's still going to happen, man. That's going to take a lot more funding than this documentary, but everything is connected. This documentary is going to be the springboard for me making more movies, more documentaries, and eventually I'm going to get to the place where I can either just do a movie or a documentary on the hip hop soda shop or be able to get the funding to open it up. But it's definitely happening.
Right. Yeah, that's what's
And
up.
I got to go ahead and put this out for you because back in 2010, 2008, 2010, it was the hip hop soda shop. That was something that was in existence in Tampa, Florida. And I wanted to buy in to get part of it. But They closed down. They're no longer in existence, but I'm still pushing forward. And instead of the hip hop soda shop, I'm doing the original hip hop cafe.
Hmm.
So that's going to be my own pet project, my restaurant, and it's going to be similar to the soda shop, but there'll be a couple of changes because I'm an old hip hop head.
Right.
1973, cardboard and Adidas. So that's what's going to be leading how I do it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Bobby, looking forward to that. I'm sure you'll be sharing it. And like I say, I will be purchasing some merch from you on there and making a donation. Wisdom Talk will definitely be supporting you, and we need more support. So anyone out there listening, y'all be sure to check him on out and reach out to him and drop that support on that. And so
Hey,
now just to
brother,
go back to this, go ahead.
I just wanted to give you a quick shout out right here on Wizzo Talks. Um, when that restaurant does open, I want to have you front center with your microphone with the first interview at the original Hip Hop Cafe because you had to deal with me talking about this since our days in Iraq. So I want the first interview to be with you so I can tell you everything that I talked about that came true. So
Already, already. That's what's up.
pencil
I would
me in,
tell you
brother.
this. I will tell you this right here, right now. Be His will, I will be there because I'm known for having gas, will travel. So I would definitely make sure I do that. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So okay, just to get back up close and personal with Orvie
All right.
Baker, 20-year veteran. So I want to ask you just what is one of the toughest moments in your life growing up as a kid? Just that you can kind of think back to what was really tough. But eight of y'all, you the big brother up in there. So what is one of the toughest moments of you growing up?
Well, we had a couple of big challenges. I think the first challenge was when we moved from Chicago to Louisiana. I was about 8 years old at the time, and I didn't know a world outside of Southside Chicago. And this is uh, something that you can look up, but it's true. On Southside Chicago, there were no white people around us. We saw white cops, but if you wasn't Puerto Rican or Indian, you wasn't on the Southside Chicago. And I was going from that environment to an environment that was majority white. And the only thing I knew about during that time was that Emmett Till went down to the South, but it was Mississippi, and was murdered. So that petrified me. I didn't know what to expect. Luckily for me, when I got down to Thibodaux, Louisiana, it wasn't like what Emmett Till experienced. So it actually was an eye opener for me. Matter of fact, I would say that my experience moving down to Louisiana changed my whole world perspective to how I see the world today.
All right, all right. Excuse me. I know you mentioned something about that before about the I think I said something about how I like to speak to everyone and up in Chicago, you throw your head up and say something wrong to somebody else, they can take that the wrong way that it's about something about to go down.
Oh man, back in the day, they don't do it now because a lot of young kids just running wild up there. But back in the day, you turn your head to the left or the right, that can cause you your life on the wrong side of the street. And as far as turning your head up and speaking to somebody, you do not. You do not speak to anybody unless you know them directly. You do not speak to them. I almost got jumped by my cousin's friends because I was speaking to my cousin. They didn't know that was my cousin, and he was gangbanging.
Man.
But in Louisiana, man, I can go into any neighborhood. I can go into a neighborhood where they hate me, and if I say "hey," they gonna say "hey" back before they get mad. It's just in them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, probably offer you some crawfish or something to eat too, probably.
Oh, oh man. Hey, if they mess around and have a conversation, that's one thing. Again, I got to give mad shouts out to South Louisiana. Um, and I'm going to make the distinction. I'm talking about the real Cajun and Creole people, not the people that's got money and they were born down there so they can say that in their bloodline, but they don't act that. I'm talking about people that will literally tell you, come on in this house so you can get something to eat because you look like you hungry, and
Right.
they're gonna find out about your mama. If they don't know already, they're gonna find out about your daddy. Y'all gonna talk about how the kids ain't acting right, and before you know it, you got some new relatives.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely believe that. I definitely believe that. All
Man,
right.
to this
Up
day,
close
I
and
can't go to Louisiana and in the Thibodeau area and not talk to somebody about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I feel like they one of my cousins.
right, right. I heard that. That's that good loving right there. That
Oh yeah,
good. That's that good
big
good.
shout out to South Louisiana.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Glad of that. So, guys, I see we got a couple of viewers still checking in. Y'all have any questions? Please post them in the comments, and Arvie will get definitely answer your questions
Almost
for
definitely.
you. Always have an answer up close and personal with Arvie Baker, 20-year veteran. All right. So, besides your kids, what's a proud? What was one of the proud moments in your life? Besides, I know usually when I ask someone that question, they say, "Well, the birth of my kids" or something like that. So, just want to know what about one of the proudest moments in your life? I'm sure there's several, but if you can just give me one and just talk about that for a minute.
Man, I can't give you one without giving you a couple, man. So
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna try to keep it short. Um, one of the biggest joys in my life, besides my kids, all my kids, was being able to go home and take my mom to the bank and give her $1,000.
Mm,
I mean, before the army, I never had a bank account. I didn't know anything about checks. I didn't know anything about nothing but how you sign in the food stamp box and you tear off your 10 or your 5 so you can use it like dollars. That's all I knew. And after going to the army, jumping out of planes, and you know, getting into a permanent duty station and starting getting money, I was like, hey, it feels good to be able to go to a bank and get some money. And when I went home, I noticed my mom never had that experience.
mm.
So this is before the Hyundai Excel. I had to
Okay.
go back and buy that. So we still walking. So I took my mom. I said, hey, mom, let's go to the bank. So we walk in and she's talking to me about everything that's going on. And, I'm listening, but in my head, I'm really thinking about the shock factor that I'm about to get her. So we go into this bank and we're the only blacks in the bank. And I walk up to the teller and I said, excuse me, man, can you give me a balance on what I have in the bank? And my mom's still looking around puzzled, like, what we doing in this bank? These people gonna get us arrested. So the lady says, yes, sir. And that shocked her, like, this white woman just called you, sir? Wrote down my balance, gave it to me. I looked at it. I looked at my mom. I said, okay, ma'am, I like to make a withdrawal. She said, how much would you like to withdraw? Gave me my slip. I said, I'm going to withdraw $1,000 today. And my mom, I could see her visibly shaking, man. Her legs buckled. And I think she thought I was going to rob the place. Matter of fact, when we got out, she told me she thought I was robbing the place. So I filled out the paperwork. I got the $1,000, and the lady said, "You want to count it?" And I said, "No, that's okay. I saw you count it. Appreciate it." So I turned to my mom. I said, "Here, mom, that's for you." And man, she, boom, big tears. Like,
No.
what's happening? I said, "It's good, mom. Let's go out because I still got money in the bank." And man, she must have cried all the way home, telling me how she can't believe that I ain't go to jail going there getting those people money. I said, no, ma, that was my money. I'm in the army now. I get paid.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that
So,
that that was a big joy. There's a couple other joys, but one of the other joys that I had before my grandmother left, and we always, sent money. I sent money to her and stuff. But one time I came home, she was struggling to pay some bills because she told me she got a new washing machine, but I didn't know she got the rent to own washing machine.
mm,
And I was like, grandmother, you never get a rent to own because you're never going to pay that off. They always get more money than it's worth. And she said, well, baby, I had to get something. Washing machine went out and I didn't want to bother you. So I just got to make a payment on, I think it was like $15. And I said, well, grandma, let me just go ahead and pay for it. So went on over to the rent to own place and I told them, hey, look, I'm here to make a payment for my grandmother. And they're like, hey, you got to be on the account, uh, do anything. I said, but do I have to be on the account to buy something? I don't want to rent anything from you. I just want to pay on it. So lady went to the back, talked to the guy. I was like, no, that's okay. Your grandmother is so nice. We try to help her and stuff. And if she needs anything else from us, you tell her, you come right back here and talk to her. I think his name was George or something. I said, I will, but I came to make a payment. They said, well, the payment for this week, because it was a weekly payment. It's like
right.
$50 or something like that. And I said, yeah, but what's the balance? And man, when they looked at me, man, it was like, y'all must not hear that a lot. I said, what's the balance? And I think they said the balance was like 320 or something like that. I said, okay, we need to close that account out.
Mm.
And they were like, yeah, but does your grandmother know about it? I said, she will, but right now I need y'all to close that out. So closed it out, went home. My grandmother already got food for me because she always took care of me like I was her number one son. And
Right.
we were sitting there, and I said, hey, grandmother, I made that payment on the washing machine. She said, thank you, baby. I'm going to get the other one next week. I just had to get this one out the way. I said, you're not going to get the other one next week. She said, what you mean? I said, that's your washing machine. Gave her the receipt. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. That I know that made you feel good, and she probably cried and everything.
I was walking around like King Rooster, man. You couldn't tell me nothing. I helped my mom. I helped my grandmother. And, I got a couple other stories like that. But I wanted to keep it short because really that's all I want in life and still do. I don't want to be rich to have some Ferrari and some big old house. I want to be able to pay my bills and be able to show up for my family. And if they're in a situation, just be able to take care of that.
Well, right, and that's outstanding right there. But I just want to just put it in reverse for a second, because
Okay.
you said about keeping it short. Well, I'm gonna tell you, bro, this is your interview, up close and personal with Orvie Baker, 20-year veteran. So whatever you want to share,
Oh,
however long your stories or whatever you got, you share it, because I got the rest of the night booked off for you, shit. So
man,
it
I
doesn't
appreciate
matter.
that.
So by all means, don't hold back. And if you before I go to my next one, just say, "Wizard, wait, I want to add something to it." So
Okay.
if the viewers are not watching it now, they'll watch it later. So I don't want to leave nothing on the table. So
Well,
I just
well,
want to put that out there.
well, well, already, man. Let's get it. Matter of fact, y'all viewers out there, come on with those questions. Because I'm not afraid to answer them. I don't have anything to hide. And if I do, I'm gonna lie about it.
All right, so we're gonna move on around then. So, what's a perfect day look like for you there? And I know part of this, I'm sure, because I'll be watching you in your Barney uniform and some of that other stuff you be doing with the kids. So, but I just want to hear you tell me, what does a perfect day, well, it don't have to be perfect, but what does a good day look like for Ari Baker?
Well, I'll tell you, man. After everything I experienced in the army, just being able to wake up and I'm still here is a perfect day for me. And even though you wasn't in the military, you saw some of that stuff up close and personal. And I'm really surprised that I'm still here every morning. So waking up is a great thing for me, but to get the rest of the day going, getting up and making breakfast for my family, or getting them ready for their day, getting up and exercising a little bit, and then being able to sit down and come up with ideas, because you brought up my character, and it's a Teletubby, not a
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
not a
sorry.
Barney. That's all right, because I'll be putting some more stuff out there because I got to start doing more content again. So it's a
Yeah.
Teletubby, and I like to create characters. So my Teletubby is Pookie. Pookie is the fifth Teletubby that people don't talk about from the south side of that bubble land. And I like to make little skits like that. I got a couple other skits that I'm not going to share yet because I want to put them out there. But I do a lot of writing, and a lot of this stuff comes from my childhood experience and stuff. And it feels good to be able to put this into a scenario and post it out for people to either like or not like. But I enjoy doing that.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you enjoy doing it, because I mean you had a big old Teletubby smile. I don't know why I said Barney. I just because it was purple. The Teletubby smile, and it carried on. And I say, man, that's my partner right there. He enjoying it, enjoying life. So that is outstanding, man. It really is.
Now we got to enjoy life, man. And since we talked about Pookie, man, Pookie has been around since 2006. I got it one time for a Halloween costume. The kids want to go out and they want to dress up, and of course I'm like, I don't want to just dress up like, yeah, I got to make it a little different. I got to make it, a little gangster. So
Yeah.
Pookie wears the gold rope chain, the
Uh,
little shiny box they got. It got a
yeah.
tattoo that says Tub Life on there. The little purple feet, I got Adidas stripes on there, and he's got another tattoo on him. So Pookie real. and Pookie will get with you out the street. Don't let the little hang on top of his head fool you. He'll get down with you, and the kids love it, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's up, Pookie. All right, dear. We're gonna have to keep a lookout for it. So, all right.
Yeah,
So I'll
I'm
move
going
right
back
on
out
along.
there for you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I'll move right along. So this one here, I'm just gonna ask you just what are your thoughts? So early in my podcasting or whatever, we talked about sex toys in the bedroom, and I had a pure romance consultant come on the show. She demonstrated a lot of toys and stuff like that, and some of the guys was in the comments talk about, you know, I don't need no toy. This is all I need. This is all she need, or whatever. So my question to you is just, what are your thoughts on sex toys in a relationship? Do you feel that they hurt a relationship, or do you feel that they can help a relationship? Talking about
I
sex
think
toys.
I think if there's a conversation being had, it can definitely help it. And everything's going to revolve around conversation because I won't sit up here and say some of those guys are saying, hey, we don't need that in the bedroom, that I know what's going on because they might be, doing all the right things for their lady and ladies doing all the right things for them. So they don't need it. But that doesn't mean you got to shit on people that do use them.
Right.
And the only thing I think of is if people are using it, that means they're having the communication. If they're having the communication, they're having a stronger love bond. And what I've been seeing out there, man, a lot of relationships, especially young relationships, they don't talk. They just assume. We can't assume out there. And I'm not going to sit up here and assume, but I will tell you, if you have the conversation, your significant other says, hey, I wanted to check that out. I want to do it. You should be open to that if it's a serious relationship. So I am saying right here to all of y'all that if you want toys in the bedroom, have them toys. I don't care if it's one of those adult toys or if it's a swing or if it's a green machine, big wheel. If that's what make y'all happy, put it up in there. Take a roll around the room. Have a good
All right.
time. Because
That's
life too
what's up.
short, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. And when you mentioned conversation, the lady that I was interviewing back at that time, that's what she was saying. That have a conversation with your partner and see where that goes, and let him or her know. Just have the conversation is what I say.
Yeah.
And that is the important thing. And if y'all into it, then do it because it can definitely make it do what it do. So.
Man, that communication might take you to a level you didn't even experience yet because, you know, uh, it's still taboo to talk about sex with all the education we have, all the access to information online. If you talk to somebody just straight up about it, probably won't have a conversation with you because it's not something that people still feel comfortable with. But if you have a conversation with your significant other where you can ask those serious questions, you might be surprised, you know.
Exactly, definitely, most definitely on that. So
But that
have that
spice is
conversation.
fun.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so I know what you've been in the military, you've been all over around the world, many different places, country, backwoods, this and that. But if you can call one place that you've been to home, where would that place be and why?
I'm about to piss off a lot of people, but damn it, I don't care. Germany. Germany.
Mm,
It's too expensive to stay over there, but man, you want to talk about a life altering experience. When I went to Germany the first time, first of all, I didn't believe that German women were built like that. They man, they are built. They like to dance. They like to party. It's not like what you see on TV where they're like schnitzel. And when it comes to like the hip hop community, man, they know more about hip hop than most Americans.
what?
Yes, sir. And man, I felt like I had found a second home. But the thing that put it over the top for me in Germany was when I started modeling over there. I never thought in a million years that I would say, yeah, I used to model. Because, in America, what do they always do? They have some people come to the mall and say, hey, you can be a model. Fill this out, walk across it. Oh, you look good. You got good cheekbones. And for $300, we can get you started. So I always looked at that as like, oh, this is somebody trying to get my money. But in Germany, they put their money where their mouth was. I actually do straight up. Hey, you talking all this stuff? First of all, I ain't doing no freaky stuff for you. But when do I get paid? And what do I have to pay? And they were like, you don't have to pay anything. We pitch in so we can travel as a team. But if you want, we can pay you right after the show. And sure as shit, after I did my first show, they put money in my hand.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it was so good, man. I even considered getting out of the military because this group, Marvy Jeans, they were talking about doing like a 6 month tour. And they were like, yeah, we like you to go on tour with us. We're going to do a European tour for 6 months. But my background is poverty. And I was like, but how much are you going to pay me? Because if you're not going to pay me what's guaranteed from the Army, and I'm including retirement, I can't go. So I could have had a modeling career in Germany. Who knows? But I do know that retirement check come every month. So
Already, that's what's up.
yeah,
That's
yes,
what's
sir.
up.
But Germany, man, I could talk on and on forever. One of my favorite things to do is get on that Autobahn and just roll. That I feel like I was made for the Autobahn, especially all the speed tickets I got when I was younger. The Autobahn was made for somebody like me, man. There's no better feeling to get on the open road, take that car up to 150 and let it roll. Let it roll.
I've heard
And
that,
people
man. I've heard about it.
they got to get out your way, man.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely heard about it. So Germany, but I mean that's a lot of snow up there from what I hear, though, huh?
Well, Chicago, man. I mean,
Oh
they
well,
got
yeah.
snow in Germany, they got snow in Chicago, but it's not snowing all the time. And it's really not the weather that's the big, it's really like the culture, man. A lot of people say Germans are very cold, they're not funny, and that's because they don't know you. One of the things that I experienced that, like in the village that I stayed in, people always looked at me, first of all, because I was one of the few blacks in there, but they don't know you. You know, why would they talk to you? You don't speak their language. You might be looking at them as weird in their country, so they're stand out. But once you start talking to them, man, they kind of got like a vibe like Southern Louisiana. Once you're a friend, you're friends for life. I can go to Germany right now. The people I used to model with, the people I used to hang out with, they wait for me to come back, man. It's been like 20 years,
Mm.
and we still friends.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's outstanding right there. And everyone know we up close and personal with Orvie Baker, 20-year veteran. We telling it all. That's
I'll
what's
tell
up.
it all, man. I want to give another shameless plug. Americans, get a damn passport. You should not be around without a passport. I know it's scary, but when you go to those European countries, everybody's got a passport. We should have that too. And I'm going to tell you, there's no reason to fear education. Everything you want to learn about the world is good to look on the book and look on the internet, but the best knowledge is to go there yourself.
Mhm.
Ask those questions yourself. And we don't have enough Americans with passports. Fortunately for me, I had to get a passport because they sent me to Germany on my second tour.
Mm. Yeah,
And I've had a passport ever since.
yeah, yeah. And I've had mine when I came over to work in Iraq, and then it expired. But I recently got another one last year because we went on a trip, went to Los Cabos, Mexico, and stuff like
Okay.
that. So I got mine now, and I definitely agree with you on that, getting that passport. And the sooner you get it, the better. Because sometimes, at one time, it was a lengthy process, due to COVID and a bunch of other stuff like that. But now I
Yeah.
think it's kind of back to speed it up and stuff. So, yeah,
And I think you should get it for the kids. A lot of people,
yeah,
are scared to get it for the kids. And I can understand when they're being young, you don't want to travel like that, especially if you haven't been out of the country. But I'm gonna put this out there as President-elect Orvie B. Baker Jr. My fellow Americans, if your child has a driver's license, they should have a passport. Get them the damn passport.
no doubt, no doubt. All right, that's what's up. Now, all right, and I'm looking at my notes, and I'm supposed to be saying marriage, but I typed in Margie. I don't know why, but anyway, I know what I mean, so I'm good. So, but I wanted to ask you, and I know how you feel about this, but I want it off in this interview because it's up close and personal. But just to talk to me to tell everyone why you're a strong supporter for prenup.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because we usually kick that around a couple of times, and
Yeah.
some people like it, somebody gets pissed off here and there. But let me tell you from my point of view about a prenup. So I've been married 3 times, and the second marriage pretty much took me out. Everything I worked for my 20 years of the military was gone in an instant because I didn't have a prenup. and the courts pretty much forced me to give up everything because they felt the woman was right and the man, he can make up for it. If you get a prenup, this doesn't mean that you don't trust your spouse. And I tell everybody, when I look at marriage now, I don't look at marriage as something on TV where there's clouds and you're going to have this chariot and go off into this beautiful sunset and have a good life. It's a business. There's a reason why you have to get a marriage license. There's a reason why you have to pay somebody to get y'all together and put it in the courts for a record. It's a business. And just like when you go into business, you're not just going to do a business with somebody that tells you something nice or look good. You want to do your background on it. And even if everything's nice and look good, y'all agree on everything, sometimes without hate, the business might dissolve and you need to have a game plan. That's what the prenup is. The prenup for me is going to do two things. Number one, it's going to make sure that this bond is purely for each other. You don't want to use the prenup, you got it there, but it's life. And when things go wrong or don't go as planned, I won't say wrong because different seasons for different reasons. And it comes to that time where y'all have to go y'all separate ways. You don't have to go to the court spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and really starting to hate the person you used to love before because the court's deciding what goes to whom. Instead of having a piece of paper saying, hey, we gave it our best. I might not wish you luck because I wanted to be with you forever, but at least we can split on the terms where we're not spending up all our monies and both of us can have a fresh start. So big proponent on having that prenup. And this doesn't go for just one religion. Whatever religion you are, if you know religion at all, we're still talking about the business of marriage. Because I'm going to tell you, when people get divorced, whether it's the man or the woman that seems to be on the bad end of the stick, the ones that profit the most are the courts and the lawyers. And they don't care. They don't care if you never see your kids again. They don't care if your wife or your husband hate each other for life and y'all going to be going back. They don't care because the bottom line is as soon as you get in the court, they get money from you. Every time you want to find out something, every time you want to present something, both sides are getting paid. So save yourself some heartache and strengthen that relationship and get your prenup.
All right, that's what's up. I knew where you stood on that. I just wanted to make sure let you go in a little bit more depth into it as opposed to when we were off in some of the other podcasts and it came on up. So I appreciate you talking about that right there.
Oh man, I appreciate you letting me bring it up because I think, and I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but I think just like a lot of stuff that's going on in society today, we have like a blurb of what it is, and people are not getting educated on this stuff. You know, we were talking earlier about the sex toys in the bedroom with the relationship. There's a belief of what that means and not mean instead of having a conversation of how can this help our relationship? That's the same thing with the prenup. Have that conversation. Don't be scared to talk about that. Don't be scared to talk about finances and FICO score before you get married because marriage is a business.
So it sounded like you saying right there to me, and I could be wrong, that it need to be based off more than just love.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely got to be more than love because love is not going to process you in the court of law. They won't even let you mention that. They're going to say, how much is your gross take-home pay, sir? Yeah. Forget love. We need to know what that gross take-home pay is and what else you got hiding because we taking everything.
Yeah. Got you on that. All right. That's what's up. So appreciate that. And all right, I think, but do you have kids under 18?
Yeah, I have a daughter, my stepdaughter. She's going to be 12 going on 52.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. Okay, but that's my partner, man. That's my partner in crime.
Right. Well, I had this because I have this in my notes, but I say, man, I forgot to ask him about his kids. But I just want to ask you, what are some of the things you're teaching your kids in life growing up today with this AI technology and the way the internet is going on? So how do you try to keep them safe and keep them on the right track because they're talking about AI is making phone calls, whereas you think and it sounds exactly like maybe your daughter or you calling. So, how do you keep your daughter safe from this AI and this technology that's going on today?
Well, before I get into that, I got to say that when we talk about the kids, I'm from the school of Bernie Mac. You are not your kids' friends. Don't be punk ass parents.
Yeah.
You got to be able to have some control. And just like my little one, she has a phone. Even though I didn't want her to have a phone, with the way things are going, especially when she's in school and stuff, she needs the phone. But as a parent, you got to be able to be the person to say, "Hey, you cutting up? Give me that phone." You know, somebody calling at 10 o'clock. Oh, y'all FaceTime? I'm a FaceTime too. Who is this? Where your mom at? You got to be able to embarrass them to educate them that, hey, this is not yours that you have to have. This is a privilege that I can take away at any time. And the one thing that I love about my little girl, man, is when I come up to her and I say, give me that phone, she don't try to hurry up and type something or, try to pull it away from me. Because she know if I take it, I'll take it forever.
Right.
But she know when I'm looking in there, I'm not looking to talk to her little friends and see what, because kids are going to talk, man.
Yeah.
And I had to break it down to my wife. She didn't believe it, but kids curse, y'all.
Yeah.
They talk shit. They talk about all kind of stuff. And we got to give them that little area to talk among their peers, just as long as they know, hey, don't you have that conversation in front of me because your lips going to be on the floor. Mm-hmm. But as long as you understand that, we'll be good. When I tell her I need to check on her phone or there's something unusual, she doesn't hesitate. As a matter of fact, she goes a step further. If somebody sends her a like message, she'll come to me and say, I don't know who this is. Right. And I tell her, delete that. Yeah. And if they come back on, I'm going to find out who this is so we can have a conversation. And the only way you can do that is if you have that close bond with them to let them know, look, I'm not doing this to rule over your life. My job is to be your protector. And being a protector doesn't mean I'm going to do things that you like all the time. But you better believe I'm going to do everything in my power to protect you. And from now until the time you're 18, where you can sign your contracts for yourself, that's my responsibility. That's your mama's responsibility. Right. And I take that to heart, just like I took taking care of soldiers to heart.
Right. No doubt. That's what's up. I agree with you on all of that right there. And when you mentioned about kids cursing, I told my kids a long time ago, I say, y'all can curse, but just don't do it around no grown people. Because they ride them kids on their school bus and they with some of the ones from the other side of town and they cussing their ass off. So I told mine they can cuss. And boy, look here, my daughter, shit, she called him everything but a child of God. I know.
Oh man, look, even if you don't tell her, man, like I told my wife, she messed around and saw some of my daughter's words with her friends. She said, I can't believe she got that. That girl been cursed since 3rd grade. Yeah. I promise you that. I was doing it. But they know not to do it around us. And I'm going to tell you a story, man, that let me know that my mom was on that same level that I am today. When I was a kid, we couldn't even say hell. Remember that? Yeah. You can't even say hell. And Eddie Murphy had just came out with Eddie Murphy Comedian. And I like to recite everything he said because it was funny, man. And I was on the side of the house, entertaining my sisters and brothers and friends, doing one of his skits using all the curse words, man. And my mom was by the window the whole time. And she said, Orvie, bring your ass here. And my heart sank, man. I was hoping I got hit by lightning or the earth opened up and just swallowed me whole before I got to my mom, man. And when I got in the house, she said, so you out there cursing, huh? Ma'am, Eddie Murphy, and she said, no, you was telling a joke. Tell me the damn joke. I want to hear it. So I'm up here, trying to hold back tears, man, because I know this is only going to end with a brutal beatdown, probably for 2 or 3 days. So I had to tell the joke, man. And she was like, you tell it just like you told it out there to everybody else. Oh, so I got to full character, man. Started telling the story, started hitting the punchline. And man, my mom was laughing so hard she almost peed on herself. So I got lucky not to get beat on that one, man. And
Yeah.
I think that's what started me into like wanting to be in entertainment and stuff. But
Yeah.
we had that connection where my mom and I bonded with me saying these curse words without being disrespectful. To this day, I won't curse in front of my mom unless I'm super mad or somebody about to catch one.
Right, right. Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, that was funny. I'm glad she was laughing and tickled to death off
Oh
of it.
man, I was glad too because I thought that was my end of days, man. I thought I
Oh,
was
yeah,
telling my last story on the planet because I done had
yeah.
some epic beatdowns, man.
That's funny as hell right there. Up close and personal with Orvie Baker, 20-year veteran. All right, well, look now, and I already know the answer to this one from the previous question, but with your kids and with your daughter, do you feel that did she come up and talk to you about anything?
Oh man, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'm kind of shocked at what we talk about because we talk about everything. I'm talking about having a cycle to what you're supposed to use, um, what little boys be saying because I don't sugarcoat stuff for it. And the reason I don't sugarcoat stuff for it is because I know before third grade, not too many kids was, wide open in the streets with stuff. But now, she in the sixth grade going to seventh grade, man, I know these kids are talking out because you can see it when you go pick them up.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let her be the one kid that gets sideswiped because she didn't know.
Mhm.
I need her to know. And I tell her, look, this is a real deal out here. Some of the things that you do out here, you might not recover from. So I got to be truthful to you and let you know what's going on. Because if I don't tell you, some little boy gonna tell you some lie or something that sounds good, and then both of y'all in trouble. And then I got to go to jail for killing somebody's son. I don't want to do that, man.
We won't do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
most
Well,
definitely.
most of the time I say I shouldn't want to do that because sometimes some of these kids, man, some of these kids, man.
Most definitely, most definitely. All righty. Well, we don't want you doing that, so I'm glad it's good and it's outstanding that y'all have that bond like that where she can come up to you and talk to you about anything. And
Yeah.
I just said, I'm interviewing you, but I'm gonna just piggyback on it. And my kids, I tell you, we talk all the time. My son up in Iowa calls me, my daughter, my oldest son, I think he's 38 or 39. I don't keep up with all that shit no more. But they call me and they talk to me about anything and they ask me what I think and what are my thoughts and stuff like that. And that shit it makes me feel good, knowing that they can come to me and talk to me, even about finances and different other things like that too, And so they,
Man, I was
that's
just going to ask you that, man. Don't it make you feel good to be able to have an open and honest conversation with, and they trust what you're saying? That's what I get from it, man. When my daughter asks me a question that might be embarrassing to other people, I feel good about that because to me, it's like we have such a good line of communication. She doesn't feel that she has to stutter or walk around me on certain things that she's generally concerned about.
right. That's outstanding. Yeah, that's good, and definitely need to be done. I know it's not with everyone, but it definitely needs to be done, and it should be. So just like you were saying everywhere, that's we're not their best friend like that, So,
No,
but for them to come up and talk to you, about anything, about cycles, about whatever, that's what you want, I know I
we're their
do.
mentors, man. We
Yeah.
we are their leaders and their mentors. And I want to make sure I put this out there. Just because we're the parents doesn't mean that we're supposed to be, pressuring over them like bullies. Like I said before, can't stand bullies. And that goes with parents too. If you just show up to inflict pain and have your kid cower in fear, I don't think you're doing a full job as being a parent.
Mhm.
You can't do it like that. I mean, I know back in the day when I was growing up, my mom, she shouldn't have done it. I think she had to because with 8 kids, you got to be a drill sergeant
Yeah.
or they'll run over you. And all 8 of us was wide open, man. We was wide open. So in certain circumstances, you got to be the tough by yourself. But in most circumstances, you can't be the bully because when you do that, that kid's going to be scared of you. They're not going to talk to you about anything. But guess what? First chance they get, they're going to get up out of your face and you'll never see them again. You won't hear about nothing till second or third.
Yeah. Outstanding. Most definitely. You're definitely right about that. So, and this next question that I got for you here, I know we've talked about it before, you didn't been on the show so much. I kind of feel a little bit where you're going with some of these questions that I have for you. But with this one-on-one gets you to go off into a little bit more depth if you choose to. So
Uh-huh.
let's talk about bad advice in the military that you received.
Oh
What
man.
bad advice?
The I'm feeling this one to this day, man. Worst advice I ever got was stay away from officers. They weak, they corny, and they don't work for a living. So you don't want to get paid like them. Man, I wish I could smack that sergeant in the back of the head for getting me pumped up on that, man. And there's other stories that I've heard from in the military, but that's the one that gets me the most. Telling somebody to not realize their potential. There, and this is nothing to knock on non-commissioned officers in the military. I did 20 years and I retired as non-commissioned officer. I'm proud of being part of the non-commissioned officer corps. However, my retirement paycheck could be a couple $1,000s bigger had I converted over to become an officer because I was a career soldier. And I had the aptitude, but I had people in my ear saying, man, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be in office. And they were right. I didn't want to be in the office, but they were wrong that I didn't want more money at the end of this tour. So yeah, that financial part was a big one. We can talk about some other stuff, man, but that one still gets me, man. Every time I see that check at the end of the month, I'm like, man, if I was an officer, where is that sergeant? I'm slap fire out of his head, man.
I know that definitely sounds like some bad advice playing with that money right there.
Yes, sir.
So while I'm on the military, let me just ask you this: what is one of the, I guess, toughest parts about the military to you, or this, I don't want to say the hardest, but just one of the tough, just one. I'm sure it may have been many, may have been this, may have been that, but just one of the toughest that you can just point out.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and sound like a complete cheesecake and lovey-dovey with the military, but everything about the military was fun and enjoyable. Believe it or not, the hardest thing and again, it's because of my background. When you grow up with the level of poverty that I grew up in, and access to things being cut off from you, the military was wide open for everything. And the thing I loved the most about it, everything was covered under the regulation. And I guess that's why I was such a badass and kind of cocky, because if you tell me something, I might not be the smartest person, but I could read. And if I find that you're wrong, I'm bringing it to you. With respect, but I'm going to bring it to you. I think the hardest thing in the Army is people that join the military, they get up in ranks, and instead of following the regulation to take care of soldiers and their spouses, they take advantage of it. And that shit pisses me off to no extent, because every situation that I see in the military where our young soldiers are having a problem and stuff, I look at the leadership. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, man, as leaders, we working hard. And I'm going to say, yeah, some of y'all working hard, but a lot of y'all hardly working. I've listened to people say, hey, I don't want to deal with these soldiers. After 1,700, they can do what they want. Wrong. If you're a leader of soldiers, you're in charge of them 24/7. You don't want to do the paperwork for somebody to get their pay taken care of, because that's not your issue. It is your issue, because when they start missing their rent or their marriage goes to hell because they're not getting paid, that was on you, Sarge. That was on you, sir or ma'am. You had the power to change that. And when I came in, luckily for me, when I joined the Army, I went straight from basic training, AIT, airborne school, to the 82nd Airborne Division. And in the 82nd, everything was about taking care of troops, not just the NCOs, but even the officers. And the officers will tell the NCOs, you got to take care of those soldiers. And that's how I was brought up. I was in the 82nd from 1988 to 1990. And those couple of years molded my whole 20 years of service, because everything was about leading from the front, leading by example, and taking care of your damn soldiers. Yeah. Nothing else matters if you're not taking care of your soldiers. And you need to take care of them to the point where you don't have to say you're taking care of them. They'll tell other people, Sergeant Baker got me covered. He got my back.
Most definitely, most definitely. And this next question I was going to ask, but you kind of answered some of it. Then I was going to say, knowing what you know now about the military, what would you do or say to a young person thinking about joining now the military now? And you can go ahead, but I think some of that what you was just saying then kind of fits in there. But go ahead though.
I would tell every able-bodied youngster that wants to join the military to join the military with a game plan for their first 4 years. Because not everybody's going to join and want to do 20 years like me. But in those 4 years, what do you wish to accomplish? Do you want to finish school? Because you can, not going to the club all the time. You can go to school and have the military pay for it and come out with your associates or even your bachelor's if that's what you want to do. Do you want to invest in property? You come in and you make sure you make a budget to put money to the side so you can do that. What I don't want you to do is join the military and say, well, the military is going to tell me what to do. No, they're going to work your ass until they can't work you no more. Then it's time for you to thank you for your service and get out. So for everybody that goes in, I think they should talk to a veteran. Not all veterans, unfortunately, but veterans that really had a good experience and the military made a change for them. Because I'm telling you, Wizzo, a lot of these kids out here are working too hard for nothing, man. They're scared to join the military because they don't want to cut their hair. They're scared to join the military because they think they're going to go to war. They're scared to join the military because they don't want nobody to tell them what to do. Well, newsflash, damn it. If you get a job and they don't want you to have those locks, they're coming off or you ain't going to get the job. If you scared to go to war, if you from the south side of any damn town in America, you already at war. You just not authorized to have a weapon to protect yourself. And the last part about somebody telling you what to do, somebody telling you what to do right damn now. So cut that shit out. Cut that shit out. Make an investment of yourself and look at it for what it is. You join the Army, first of all, any service you join is cool, but I'm prior Army, so I'm going to talk about the Army. You join the Army, you know for a fact you're going to get a paycheck twice a month, no matter what you do. When you on leave, when you're in the field, or y'all ain't got nothing to do, that paycheck's coming regardless. Same price. You get benefits. If you have a young family, man, to be able to have your child born in the military, take care of that, or to be able to get medication and stuff. And in some cases, if you have to take care of your family, they can sign up their parents as dependents and get them taken care of. And you can change your whole family dynamics in one generation just from joining the military. So I tell people with no apologies, if you don't have anything going on for you, you should join the military and take advantage of what's there, because the people that tell you shouldn't join, they're holding you back from things that can change you and your family's life.
Exactly. Exactly. Well put. Well put. I have to just kick it in reverse because you said airborne. What the hell make you want to get up there and jump out of planes so many thousands of feet up in the air?
Look, man, when I was a kid, first of all, I'm going to start it right from the get-go. Evil Knievel. If I had a bike, no matter what kind of bike it was, whether it was a BMX or a 10-speed or my mom old basket bike, I was going to jump it over something. That's just something in me. I jumped off houses. I jumped off garages. I did a lot of jumping I shouldn't have did. And now the Army's going to pay me to do for stuff I was going to do for free anyway. Might as well. My mom didn't want me to join. I'll tell you this real quick. When I joined the Army, I didn't tell my mom that I was going airborne. Because the first thing she said was, baby, don't let them get you up in the plane because they're going to push you out and you're going to die. And in my head, I was like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I waited till I finished basic training, Army individual training, went to airborne school. And once I got my 5 jumps to be qualified as airborne, I called my mom with my 15 cents. And I said, hey, Ma, guess what? She said, what? You coming home? I said, no, I just jumped out of a plane. I'm airborne now. And I heard a gasp. And I was like, Ma, you still there? She's like, baby, they gonna kill you. I said, it's too late, Ma. I'm already airborne. I'm already getting paid. I'm gonna bring you my wings when I come home. But yeah, man,
That's
she
outstanding,
was definitely against it, but I had to do it, man. Even with air assault, I was just one of those kids that what they used to say about us, filled with piss and vinegar.
man.
I just had a lot of balanced energy, and the Army took it. Well, I won't say the Army took it. The 82nd Airborne took it in open arms. They were like, "You're our guy. Come on over here. You like climbing ropes 30 feet in the air? You like hanging out at night, jumping out of planes? Yeah, you're our guy." Now that doesn't go for all the military because when I went to Germany, they were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, why won't you just shut up, Baker? Why are you yelling so loud? Why you always got to do the most push-ups? Why you always in competition? I'm like, that's what I'm getting paid for. Not in Germany.
Yeah.
We a different army over here. You need to tone that down, baby. So I wasn't always accepted in places I went, man. But the 82nd, that was definitely home. I like to say Germany was the place that I loved to go as far as outside the country, but the place I felt most accepted, and it's not every unit at uh, Fort Liberty now. It used to be Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty. But the 82nd Airborne and the Special Operations Forces, man, they made me feel like I was somebody that was needed there. I never felt like I was an extra. I never felt like they didn't have time for me. They were always wanting to teach me something, always motivate me to push myself. And I say motivating because there's some places where they just talk down to you and tell you just need to do better. But
Right.
man, when I was in the 82nd, man, everything we did was competitive level, and they wanted you to be your absolute best.
Right.
And I
Okay.
was.
Oh, I
That's what
believe you. No doubt.
I'm
No
at.
doubt. All right. So check this out. So I have one more question I'm going to ask you, and then
Okay.
I'll just go open up to anything that I may have left out or anything else that you want to share. Because, like I said, this is your interview up close and personal with Orvie Baker. Baker, a 20-year vet. So I'm going to ask this one last question of mine, and then after that, it's open to whatever else you like to share with the world. So
Okay.
I've talked to, I've never been in the military, but I've talked to veterans, that's older veterans that was back into, like my fiance, her dad, is 75. So he's been back in the military and all that. And I'll talk to some other guys. And so, but my question is, they talk about today's military is so different from back then. So I'm just kind of get you to tell me what's the difference as far as now from when you retired to about the military now, if you can, if I'm making any sense with that question.
Oh, you're making perfect sense. And I have to tell you, the military as I know it actually changed in 92. When I came in 88, everything was about the op tempo to be ready for combat, to be ready for war. We had to have a tough skin. So all the PC stuff, man, we used to say some stuff that the whole army would get canceled today, but that was the norm of our conversation. And the mindset, the way I took it was to groom us and be prepared for war because war is hell. You go in there to kill people, but guess what? You go in there to kill people that want to kill you, and both sides going to have some losses. So they wanted to get us ready for that, and then we had this shift to where we couldn't say the things that we used to say. But luckily for me, I had an understanding of where we were going with that. It was like, hey, look, we don't want you to feel like you're only a disposable hero. You matter. So we don't want you talking like that because we want you to be able to go home and have a family life. We don't want you talking to your family like that. We don't want you talking in front of other families like that. We want you to be a full service, well-rounded soldier that's respected. But some people came in there and they just took it to the other end. If you say anything negative, if you say anything that we can look at as sexist or what we deem PC problem, we're not just going to counsel you. We're just going to put you out. And I think that's wrong. The army that I grew up in, if you messed up in our army, oh, you're not going home. We're about to fix you. And if it take us breaking you down to 4 hours a night of sleep for 3 weeks to get you to understand we're not playing with you. We got you, baby. We built for that. But nowadays, if somebody does something as simple as farting in formation, they doing up paperwork and sending them home and saying, well, we don't need that in our army. Well, you do, because when you send them home, who's going to replace them?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to talk from my recruiting side. When you send somebody home on something stupid like that or something that you could have fixed, they're going to make sure they tell all their friends and relatives, don't join the military because they're not going to take care of you. Mm-hmm. And that's going to get to them, and the recruiter's going to be like, I can't put anybody in. I don't know what happened. Well, look at all the people that's been put out. But it also hurts retention. When you're not taking care of people, and I want to share a story that, man, to this day, it pisses me off. People going to get that and have a different viewpoint on the military. So they're not going to stay in for 20 years. They're going to get out and take their chances because the military is not taking care of them. And I'll tell you the story about why I said it's something that pisses me off. After I retired from the Army, there was a warrant officer. I'm not going to say his name because his family might be following. We're still pretty cool, and we became bonded because of my old military mindset. The warrant officer had terminal cancer. He's trying to get his family prepared for what's coming, no matter what. That day is coming. So he had to move his family from a big house that they had to a smaller house because they're trying to take care of finances and stuff, take care of him. Well, his unit that he was in, they know that he had cancer, said, oh, you got to find a way to take care of that yourself. We're not taking care of that. You want to use one of our military trucks for your personal use? No, we're not doing that. And when I was in the Army, when I first joined the Army, man, we used everything for ourselves, even down to the damn batteries for Christmas. All the kids had green batteries in their toys for Christmas because we took the Army as our Army. And the Army of today, and I think a lot of them going the wrong way, they look at it like, hey, if it doesn't have anything to do with the exact mission, that's on you. So this warrant officer had to figure out how he was going to move his family. Luckily, the warrant officer had some good NCOs, and one NCO in particular went out to Facebook and said, hey, if we got any able bodies, we need to come over here to help this warrant officer move. We can't pay you. We can give you some beer and some pizza, but we need to make this happen ASAP. So when I saw it on Facebook, of course, I was upset because I thought somebody was, playing around trying to get sympathy. So I contacted him. I said, hey, don't you talk shit about our Army. Don't play like this. We're real about this. And me and the sergeant had a conversation. She said, you can come right now. I'll tell you to your face. This is what's happening. I refuse to let this happen to one of ours. And if you want to help, meet us here at 12. And when I got there, it was a big part of the special operations community because they still kind of look at it in old school ways. Special operations community, 82nd got together, got this guy moved to a new house, took care of them. And even though I'm glad they did it, they actually had to go against the command to do this. Matter of fact, the NCO got in trouble for putting this together. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are we doing? This is not the Army that it's supposed to be. We're supposed to take care. And the ugly part about it is we have regulations that talk about taking care of our soldiers and civilians, but you can't just give lip service. You got to have actions behind that. And that's one of many where I say, you know what? I'm going to have to give the Army a no-go on this. Not the Army, but the leadership that allowed that to happen, because there are some people in the Army that's leaders. Oh, they're going to move heaven and earth for their soldiers. And those are the ones that are making sure that people want to re-enlist. They're the ones that's inspiring people to go home and tell their little brother and sister, come on, join the Army because it's the best thing since apple pie. And for those leaders, we need them to stay in there and build more. But these other leaders that talk shit to people all the time, that don't want to help anybody, they only want to do what's good for them outside the military and show this facade that they care, they're the problem. So yeah, that's changed, and that has pissed me off to the point that we need to get back involved. And I still do consultant work. And Army, if you're listening, I'm still ready to come over there and fix things because this is stuff that can be fixed.
Most definitely. All right. Well, appreciate you sharing all of that. So I've concluded my up close and personal interview with you. So if there's anything at this point that you'd like to share with the world right now, uh, the mic is yours. So let them have it and just tell
All
me
right, one,
what's
two, one,
that's it.
two.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and start this off and piss some people off. Let's talk about politics, y'all. Let's talk about Trump and Harris. They probably got some people throwing stuff right now. Oh man,
Probably.
I don't want to hear that politics. Well,
Yeah.
this is what I want to say about politics. And I'm gonna tie it into what we were just talking about. Just because you like or dislike a politician doesn't mean you need to get on here and try to fight the fight like they're paying you. They don't know you.
Mhm.
You have an opinion, and your opinion should go to the vote. Now you can defend your opinion, but when you get on here trying to trash somebody because they talking about your Donald Trump, or you want to hate somebody because they're not all in for Kamala Harris and they find some flaws with her, you're okay as long as it's your opinion. You step over the line when you start telling people how they should think. And I'm bringing this up because there's been a couple of times where I post something and people would get upset. And I'm like, you have a right to be upset. That's cool because you can't kick my ass and I'm not going to change my opinion, but we're still humans. Share why you don't like what I said, share how you feel about it, and then let's move on. I'm okay with that because when it comes to communications, the thing about communication is that both people have to be able to say something and both people have to be heard. And if they're not, we got a problem. We got Coach Billy. Hey, shout out to Coach Billy. I I need to do a shameless plug. You need to have her on the show, man. She's a
Oh
life
yeah.
coach. She family to me, man. She is family. She could definitely tell you things about helping people get their mind right.
Okay.
Hey, Coach Billy, I miss you. North Carolina, y'all stand up.
Hey,
Um,
hey, Coach Billy, to Texas. We won't see about getting you on the show pretty soon.
her and Mister, she know what I'm talking about. Her and
Yeah,
Mister
and
can come on the
Mister.
show. Yeah, but
Wait a minute, though. Hold on. When you say Mister, now that take me back to Ben Raines there cooking breakfast naked and stuff like that, or
well,
whatever. So,
I don't know about the naked part, but that's a man, that's a soulmate. You know, I love seeing them together, man. They are definitely a poster of what a loving, communicating couple should be like. And you see, I keep going back to communications, and I'm gonna bring
yeah,
it back to the politic conversation. Let's talk. Let's be okay with not agreeing with somebody, but don't get nasty with it. You know, I got people that I actually consider family, and they love Trump. I don't see why, and I tell them how much I can't stand them. But you know what? At the end of the day, we talk about how our kids are doing, we talk about how our parents are doing, and we leave the politics to the argument that we had on Facebook because we can still have those conversations. The thing that I've seen that's going on in our country is that people want to wave this flag and they want to go to the point of destroying somebody for somebody that doesn't even know you exist. A lot of these people that love Trump, he don't know y'all. He don't care about y'all. Hey, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. You think she could pick me out in the crowd? Hell no. She probably wouldn't even give me a job.
mhm, yep.
But that's my choice. Hey, see, I told you, man. Coach Billy is on it. She is on it. She's on it.
I
Thank you, Coach
see.
Billy.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Thanks, Coach Billy.
Communications is the key, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about marriage, or whether we're talking about raising kids or finances, everything comes back to having that conversation.
Yeah.
That should be communication. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
most definitely.
Effective
And
communication.
yes, most definitely. That's it. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I used to kind of be bad at communicating, and I would just, you know, go to bed mad when I was married or whatever, wake up like it wasn't nothing else ever even happened or whatever, but I needed a little cool down time or whatever. But that communication is definitely the key. And I can say that my son, he's good about communicating because he called me all the time. Him and his girl might get into something, talk to me about it, and well, we talked about it. She didn't want to. But anyway, just I'm blabbing, but communication is definitely a key factor in
No,
anything.
man, those are great examples because I was going to share with you. Uh, well, my daughter, who's my Pizzo, man. I'm not her friend, so we get into it a lot of times, man. And she'll walk around the house, her lip balled up, don't want to talk to me, and I'm not going to talk to her.
Yeah.
But when she want her phone back, or when she feel like having a conversation, I'm not going to say, no, we're not going to talk about it because I'm your daddy. You do what I say. It's like, no, let's talk about what happened. Why do you think we're not talking? And then we have an open conversation about it. And then we hug and then go get some ice cream because that's our thing. And we good. Life is so much easier when having a conversation. Same thing with my wife. We don't agree on everything, but once we have a conversation, even if we don't agree at the end, she knows where I'm coming from. I know where she's coming from, and we can move forward. But when you don't communicate, and I'm going to talk about my other marriages, man, that wall becomes a thick wall in no time flat,
Hmm. Yeah.
where there's no turning back.
Most definitely. Yeah. They can definitely do that. And right now, like I was saying, Orvie, this has been an up close and personal interview with Orvie Baker, 20-year veteran. You knocked out every question that I threw at you, which I already knew you would because that's how you roll. I know that. But
Stay ready.
I want to ask you about before we get to this comment right here, also about you and your brother podcast that you have.
Okay.
So if you can just talk to us about that briefly, and then we can address the comment that Coach Billy and put up also too.
Okay. My brother and I started a podcast called the First and Fifth Son podcast. I'm the first son. He's the fifth son. And we haven't been at it lately because, life gets in the way. But we started this because he wanted to do something different. And I was going to school for digital cinematography. But let me give you a background about my little big brother. Because, like I said, he's taller than me. And
Right.
we had two different paths in life, and he doesn't mind me sharing this because we ever get him on the show, he has shared himself. I went to the military. He went to drugs and the penitentiary. But when he got out, I was still his big brother. And what he wanted from his big brother was guidance, not somebody tell him, "Hey, you wrong. You a dope dealer. You did this to the community." He needed somebody to say, "How can I get right?" So he would call me and we would just talk about things he was doing, relationships he was having, to have that conversation. And one day he called me and said, "Hey, big brother, I'm in a financial jam, but I got a plan. I want to be a truck driver and I'm going to need X amount of dollars to go to this school. Can you sign for me?" And his wife at the time was like, "I'm not signing for you.
Right.
You need to just work." And I told him, "Hey, look, send the paper over. If you do me wrong, then that'd be something we have to go over later. But right now, everything you told me about what you want to do makes sense to me. I'm gonna invest in you. Send the paper over." So he sent the paper over. I signed for his loan to go to school. He finished school. He needed money to get the license. He got the license, and now he's going on 10 years being a truck driver, man.
Hmm.
Been doing his own thing. He went from making, like $4 or $5 an hour, because you know how they treat criminals, convicts, once they come back to
Yeah.
the civilian world. They're not giving you nothing. They don't care. To now, he's able to make big moves. He's got his own property, and he has a big viewpoint of how the rest of his life is going to be. And it wasn't because I'm a genius. It's because I was open to having communication with my little brother, and he was open to receiving communication from me. So, yeah, I would love to be able to have First and Fifth Son come on and talk about that story because we came from two different areas. Me being, I won't say Mr. Goody Two Shoes because I'm damn sure bad. We cut from the same cloth, but
Right.
somebody that went the government route, somebody went the penitentiary route, and now we like this. We're
Yeah.
pretty much brothers, but we're like business partners. Every move he makes, he gives me a call. We talk about it, and we make plans to move forward. That's how communication is supposed to work.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
beautiful, man.
Yeah. That's. And you, I mean, to bring your mom off with that and take care of your grandmother with that, you the big brother of taking care of all of the 8 kids and wind up helping out, man. That's you definitely a blessing, bro. You've been helping them out and been fulfilling your part, so that is
Hey,
outstanding.
man, but I got it honest, man. My grandmother, like I said, she took care of everybody, and from the first memory I have of her, she was taking care of somebody to the day she died. So yeah, I got it honest, and it really feels good to be able to do that. Like I said, some people measure success in what they have acquired, what status that they have. For me, it's about what I could do for people to get them moving forward. Matter of fact, man, when we was in Iraq, remember the Bosnian crew?
Yeah, yeah,
Remember Bato?
yeah.
Me and him still friends to this day, man. He does a little artwork for me. Yeah, man. And one of the things that stuck out to me was when I was over there, when Baker got me the supervisor position, I was in charge. Um, they were talking to me about them having their computers being taken from them, and they said, "You know what, Mr. Baker? We have a saying in our country: the rich person is not the person with the most money. The rich person is the person with the most friends." And that sticks to me to this day, man. I don't have a lot of money. I want a lot of money, but more than anything, I want to be able to help people and for people to genuinely believe that I am here for their best interest.
Right.
You know, trust is everything to me.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt. All right, then. Well, all right, before we go out and before we close out, I just like for you just to touch on the documentary one more time and let the viewers know about that. And I think that'd be closed out on a good note. And also let them about the merch and ways they can support and everything like that because I think that's outstanding what you're doing. I just want to make sure we cover that one more time.
Okay. Again, I'm doing my first documentary. It's a passion documentary about the Survivors Memorial. Um, this the picture that's behind me is the first memorial in the United States and possibly the world dedicated to survivors of sexual violence. It's located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the Boom Island Park, and you can get in contact with me to help me make this happen by donating money or getting the word out or both. You can find it on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram at the Survivors Memorial Doc, and on Facebook, the Survivors Memorial Documentary. I'll be putting updates on there as well as you'll find hyperlinks to donate money and buy the merch that I have. And if you have any questions, get with Wizzo and he'll get you connected to me.
No doubt on that. No
Like,
doubt.
share, and subscribe to Wizzo Talk Podcast. That's how you get in touch with me.
Already. You took the words right out of my mouth because I was just about to say that. Please like, share, and subscribe. And once you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay and get a notification whenever we get ready to post something else again. Orvie, I noticed you didn't talk much about the organizations that you're a part of, like the sexual harassment and the. You didn't go off into much about the homeless. Because if you want
Yeah.
to, you
Oh,
can.
yeah. I can go on and on about that. I'll first touch the organization I'm working with, Interactive Advocacy. I'm a consultant right now. I have my own consulting business, the iMarlet Group Consulting, a word from Germany. But I work hand in hand with Interactive Advocacy out of North Carolina. And we still do sexual assault, sexual harassment, prevention, and response training and interactive training. I don't have her information on, but you had her on the show before.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. Mhm.
Still work with her. And as far as the homeless, this is something that I'm definitely gonna get more into after I get this project and a couple of projects out the way, because I really see a way forward that's easy for them to employ. And I already told you before my 3 steps of making this happen, but I want to go from just talking about it to actually doing a presentation, probably starting in Minneapolis and then coming on the show and telling you how that went. Because there's too much property out here that belongs to the cities that we can't start this on there. And we have too much labor that we can employ to make this happen. And when I say labor, I'm talking about the National Guard. I'm talking about some of those people that are incarcerated that want to do something good, because everybody, believe it or not, everybody that's incarcerated are not bad people. They're people that did bad things, but they really want to do something good. And this would be an opportunity to have a win-win. So yeah, I definitely want to talk about that because it's getting to the point now where it's illegal to be homeless.
Man,
Well, they'd
yes, I
rather
saw
throw
that.
you in jail than to help you. And again, I will take all the arguments that you have. There are people out there that have mental health issues that don't want to be helped, but that's not everybody that's homeless. And when you tell me about the people that have mental health, my retort to you is, hey, we need to have resources to take care of the people that have mental health, because in America, that's always been a big problem. Mental illness, but we don't put enough money toward that. But for the people that don't have mental illness or drug and alcohol addiction, families that was just one check away from being homeless and they got that one big bill that knocked them over, man, they're not looking for a little cheap handout. They really want to get back on their feet. And we can make that happen. 3 steps. 3 steps. And it starts with donating some land and putting something in place. And I know we can do it because we've done it all over the world in the middle of deserts. So why can't we do it here at home?
Exactly, most definitely. Woo-wee. All right. Well, I hope you. I know. Well, I'm not going to say hope. I know once you put your mind to it and get to work to it, it's a wrap. I know you
Can't
sound like
stop,
you
won't
have
stop, man.
already. You have a full schedule right there. So, and a lot of things that you're also working on. So I know you're going to make it happen. And I'm telling you right now, I will be purchasing some merch. If I don't purchase merch from you, whatever, I just send a donation anyway. Because
I
word is
appreciate
bond.
that, brother.
I'm old school too. So we
And
definitely
see,
will do that.
that's something else that's lost, man. You and I, if we say that's my word, we're gonna live by that. It's gonna have to be a big shift. I think some old things we need to keep on to, man. And being a person of your word means a lot.
Man, it definitely does, and I'm definitely old school like that. I don't, I can just shake your hand and that's a wrap. I know, hey, word is
Yes,
it.
sir.
You way there, and I'm way down here in Texas, so I don't have to shake. But if I tell you I'm gonna do it, then it's a wrap. I'm gonna do it. So, but
And
on
you
that
know
note,
me, if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm not just gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do extra because that's just how I get down.
I know it because that was what you were saying when they was up in Germany. Why you doing all that extra? Man, come
Yeah.
on.
Hey, that's how I was built, man. I'm built for the extra.
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, I always appreciate you coming on Wizzo Talk. You always have a lot of information to share. Appreciate you letting me do this one-on-one interview with you, up close and personal with you. And just letting you go on and express. And you knocked out every question that I had for you, like I knew you would, without a doubt. So I just
Anytime,
tell
brother.
anyone that's watching now, if you just go to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe, I appreciate your support. And we have a lot of other videos, a lot of other conversation with Orvie and I and other guests. And we have working on a lot of stuff that's coming up. And maybe I'll reach out to Coach Billy and see about getting her and the husband on the show or something like that.
Thank you so much, Coach Billy. You know you family. We go back just as far as me and Wizzo, and we've had some conversations too. So man, that'd be a dream right there. Get me and Coach Billy. She's also a veteran.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Most
we can definitely chop it up.
Most definitely, most definitely. So you know me, I'm always looking for guests. Coach, you still listening in? I'm always looking for guests on the show, and sometimes we just have a regular conversation, barbershop talk, beauty shop talk, or if it's a one-on-one, I'm open for about anything. I work around your schedule. That's why I don't have a set day and set time. I work around my guest schedule, and we try to make it happen. I just say if we set that time and set that schedule, please stick to it and don't be late.
Yes, sir.
Orvie, what else you want to close out with, man, before we get out of here?
Okay,
Good.
because we're talking about me being a 20-year veteran, I used to be a successful Army recruiter. I'm gonna put this out there to you again. Kids, older people that still qualified, do not be scared of the military. Get those benefits, get that paycheck, let them change your life. Get paid for your fitness and your education, whether you do 2 years, 4 years, or 20 years. Don't be out here just being taken advantage of, working a job to the bone for $8 and not being able to take care of your family and stuff. Go ahead and get that military education behind you if you don't have anything going on, and I promise you, it's going to change your life.
All right. Right. That's what's up. And those are the words from coming from 2028 President-elect. No.
Hey, that's right. We got to get it straight. Y'all call me. We won't be a party. We'll be independent, not
Right, right.
Republican or Democrat, but building on trying to get our working class back to working class status.
All right. Sounds great. Outstanding. Outstanding. Arvie, once again, my brother, I appreciate you. And we will
Thank you,
always
brother.
be in touch. I got your number, got your email, got all points of communication. And on that note, we're going to get on up out here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is Paul Wizzo. Holla at your boy.
Holla.